What determines your success? Is it IQ? Is it hard work? Is it your social contacts? Can Bill Gates really be 60 billion times smarter than you? Well, the reality is no. It's not your IQ, it's not how hard you work, and it's got little to do with your social contacts. It's all about your strategy. It's all about your business model. The wrong concept in the right environment still won't work. You need to have the right strategy. To create the certainty that you need in uncertain times, a strategy, whether business or personal, is what's required now more than ever. I say this a lot in my work. It's not the people, it's the process. Strategy is all about process. So what is strategy? If you read 5 books on strategy, you'd get 32 different definitions. Essentially though, strategy is that set of values, beliefs and guidelines from which you make decisions. So once a strategy is set, an opportunity comes along, does it meet our framework? Do we discard? Or do we now need to change our framework, our decision or our strategy? So that's what strategy is. But to get to that simple articulated values, mission, guidelines for how we make decisions is actually quite an in-depth process and requires a lot of work. The history of strategy really came about in the 1950s as big organisations, in particular GMH, became big conglomerates and they started to buy lots of smaller businesses. And this led to the rise of portfolio analysis, where they looked at the portfolio of their businesses and started to create a strategy around these portfolios. This then led to looking down a level at microeconomic analysis. And then in the 1980s, Mintz Herzberg came along and people started to look, and Mintz started to influence a look at the intuitive approach. Whereas in the first 2 phases it was much more analytical, a very creative, intuitive approach came in the 1980s with Mintz Herzberg. This was further validated by the intuitive approach of the Japanese, who were being exceedingly successful at the time. And then in the 1990s came purpose and values, and that was led and influenced very much by the Good to Great book by Jim Collins. In the last 10 years, it's really become a synthesis. More is known about strategy now in the last 10 years than in the last 50 or 60. And really what I'm going to talk to you about is the synthesis of these ideas, and what I like to do is to move from gut feel to gut fact.